the reason that a lot of this is important is because a majority of the NFT projects that are part of 10KTF are featured in that video, which gives us massive connection directly to Yuga Labs and what they're building. You have the Bored Ape Yacht Club, you have the Bored Ape Kennel Club, you have all these different projects that are part of 10KTF, but so many are just featured right here in this video, which is really incredible.
Guys, welcome to this very special guest speaking event that we have with our very, very incredible and talented guest, Crypto Dilly. He is the founder of the NFT project Roni World, which I told you guys about a while back, and I know quite a few of you bought a decent amount of that NFT project. And he's actually coming on today to tell us about this exciting project called 10KTF and all of the shadowy figures that are behind it to kind of demystify this very cryptic project that has big players such as Gucci behind it, that has Beeple behind it, allegedly all these people behind it, and potentially even connections with Louis Vuitton and whatnot as well. So Crypto Dilly, I'm not going to dive in too much further and give away all the secrets. Crypto Dilly is anonymous, by the way, so he will be behind a masked camera off Zoom call thing, and but we'll be able to hear him. He's here to bestow some incredible knowledge upon us, and I'm excited to see your guys' minds blown about this incredible project.
Yeah, welcome guys. This is an insane project. There's a lot of layers to it, and it's probably the most in-depth project that I've ever come across. A lot of people coming into the space that have no idea what NFTs are, or they've been a part of one or two projects. It's a lot to actually consume and really dive into. So I'm gonna take you all the way back to the beginning of the project, where it started, how it came to be, and basically the whole storyline. And then within the project, there's a lot of speculation, and that's where it gets really fun, is going down those rabbit holes and understanding the background of the project and why that it's such a powerhouse. So share my screen here and we'll get right into it.
Yeah, before we dive in, just to give you guys an idea of my excitement around this project, Crypto Dilly told me about this back in, man, was it December when I was in Idaho? And
I think so.
And I met with him there, and he was telling me all about this project, and he didn't go too deep into it. And then I just bought a couple of the I think I bought some shoes, and maybe I think I just bought a pair of shoes back then, and which will mean a lot more to you guys once he starts diving into it. And I didn't really dive into it too much. And then I was on a phone call with him about 2 weeks ago. He was telling me about this Gucci drop that's taking place, and he told me about the whole story. And from that moment, I have just been completely consumed by it. I have been in the Discord. I have been doing my own research. I've spent way too much money on the last Gucci drop that happened, and we'll see how that ends up going. But the thing that really excited me about this is the big picture of let's make sure everybody's muted, guys, please. This is we're recording it for everybody. And what was exciting to me was that the feeling that I was getting, I knew that's the same feeling that everybody else would get the minute they start to learn about the project. And that feeling is, since that's transferable to everybody, this is going to spread like wildfire. And it will create a bunch of true fans, or true friends rather. And Crypto Dilly is going to dive into it more now.
Yeah, I mean, there's even more, mystery behind it. I mean, even Will Smith and Chris Rock attended one of the founders of this project's party last night after the Oscars. So we're going to dig into that even. Okay, so right here, yeah, let's just jump right into the meat and potatoes of it. 10KTF started on September 17th. The way that it actually began, it actually started in the Bored Ape Yacht Club project, but I'm going to tell you this story from my perspective and the way it went down, so that way you guys can understand my point of view and why I am obsessed with this project. So right here, somebody just comes in the Discord randomly one day. They have this pair of shoes up in the top right corner, and they say, haven't seen a link in here, but 10KTF is allowing Oni holders to mint shoes for gas until Sunday at 3 p.m. So nobody knows what this is, but you're able to go in and 10KTF, this random project that just popped up, all of a sudden they're in all these different Discords and they're offering free pictures of their NFT on these shoes. And these shoes, they resemble a very large brand, and I'll get into that in just a minute, but the minting website is very fluid and it's amazing. And so immediately before you buy into any project, you want to know a little bit about the backstory. If I'm going to spend money, I want to like dive into it and figure out what I'm spending any money on. But you can see right here, 8 parent projects with commercial IP rights are given the opportunity to mint high tops for 0.05 ETH. And shopkeeper Nikki, you understand this a little bit further, but in the Discord, the moderators call themselves shopkeepers. It says protection money is due. Shop is only open for 24 hours. So this day, the shop and your ability to mint these shoes was only 24-hour span of time.
Now,
the next time that
Dilly, I want to back up real quick, because something super important to understand is that you're probably feeling a little bit confused by how this is starting off, right?
100%.
We're going in and we're talking about shoes being posted in the Discord, and like, well, that's not how we usually talk about NFT projects. Usually we talk about the founders, we talk about the roadmap, we talk about the utility, we talk about all of these things that gives us this conviction that this NFT.
I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into
that. But I wanted to preface, because that's what they're used to hearing, but there's nothing about that with this project, really. And that's
what
why
makes
we're
this so
starting
amazing
in this like cryptic way of like, it really doesn't make sense, because that's how you get the full understanding of this project. It's not supposed to make sense.
Well, and what's really fascinating is some of the most successful projects in existence today actually started out as free mints. Curio Cards, which is one of the oldest projects on the blockchain, started in 2017. The founders had to give away the NFT, and they minted out such a large supply and then burned the rest. So it's really fascinating the way that 10KTF came to be, and we're going to get into that as I go through this. But researching just the history behind the shoes, you look at Nike. StockX actually tried to do an NFT project around the Nike logo and something similar to the shoe, and they immediately got sued instantly. And Nike is a powerhouse. So the fact that a company or a project is able to actually, create these high top shoes with a cool cat on them, and they've had no IP protection or patent, strikes against them, that in itself makes you really start to like dig in and feel like, okay, what's going on here? Why didn't 10KTF, why are they still able to move forward, right? That's where the speculation really begins. So you start there, but right here, immediately before people are buying into the project, they are sleuths. People research, they want to really understand what they're buying into, like Ryan was saying. So right here on September 20th, Atera, he posts on Twitter and says, these look familiar. Credit to Cypher DAO, 10KTF, Beeple, and We New Moments, and Michael Figgy. So you look at the banners. These banners came straight off the 10KTF website, but also more importantly off of the OpenSea website, where after you minted one of these NFTs, they're displayed in the background of the 10KTF collection. They are the exact same We New logo as what's on the We New boxes. And now what is We New? Well, that's where people get really interested. There, We New has 10KTF.eth. Immediate tie to the project itself. So people look up We New Studios. We New Studios is a platform that was designed to create NFTs around epic moments. So the website actually has the New York Times as a registered, partner. You have Endeavor, which owns the UFC and owns a lot of the different betting. They just bought iBet Online. They bought all kinds of different things. They're a conglomerate that owns a bunch of different things. They work with all these different companies to capture moments. And one of the big things that they did was they were a real big part of the moments for the Wimbledon and the tennis championships. And so they minted these NFTs or these moments as NFTs. Now, when you dig into WeKnew, that's where things get interesting. WeKnew owns 10KTF.e. So we have an instant connection to what WeKnew is. So when you look at WeKnew Moments and you pull up their website, you can actually go to WeKnew Moments and look up their team. The team consists of some amazing people. This in itself should sell you on why you want to own a 10KTF NFT. The immediate person that is on the far left is Mike Winkleman. Now, Mike Winkleman is Beeple. Beeple sold an NFT for $69.3 million. And that's the most expensive, digital art piece that has ever been sold. More importantly, he's become the third highest grossing artist in history. And it's really impressive, the network that he's been able to build up over the years. Just looking down here, you have Creative Commons VJ loops. He's worked on concert visuals for Justin Bieber, One Direction, Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj, Eminem, Zedd, Deadmau5, and many more. Now, these connections are very interesting because another founder is named Michael Figge. Michael Figge owns Possible Productions. Possible is the one who works with Ariana Grande, Childish Gambino, Coachella, DNC, Riot Games, Paul McCartney, Louis Vuitton, MTV, the Super Bowl. When you look at their client list of people, a lot of them are actually synonymous. They've been working together for many years. And Mike Winkleman, Beeple, credits many of his successes to Michael Figge at Possible. So there's that major connection of actually knowing all these different people and having all the connections in the space. It doesn't end there, though. The next person on the list is Tim Smith. Tim Smith is the founder of Blood Company. He's a founder at WeKnew. He also started No Fine Print Wine Company, and he is the founder of Gossamer DAO. Now, when you look at Blood Company, it's fascinating because 10KTF actually owns a patent for music NFTs. They own all these different patents. That's insane. And when you look at the Blood Company, they are a booking service for a lot of these musicians. One of those musicians just so happens to be Zedd, which was mentioned as one of Beeple's clients, right? It doesn't end there. When you really dig into one of the most fascinating founders of the team, Guy Oseary. Guy Oseary is one of the co-founders of Sound Ventures. Sound Ventures is a venture capital fund that was founded with Ashton Kutcher. They've invested in all kinds of different companies, Affirm, Airbnb. They're very early investors in startup companies that are disruptive in the space. And they also are one of the only seed investors for Yuga Labs. If you know anything about Bored Ape Yacht Club, in order to actually be a part of their ecosystem, you have to be a seed investor to actually even participate. And that's Guy Oseary's Bored Ape pictured on the Yuga Labs infographic that has Sound Ventures as number 10. Now, why that's important, I'll get to in a minute. But more importantly, Guy Oseary is also connected in a significant way to more projects than just the Bored Ape Yacht Club as an investor. Guy Oseary is also the person who manages and represents all deals for Yuga Labs, which is Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is one of the largest projects in the space. However, Yuga Labs also recently acquired CryptoPunks. They also acquired MeBits from Larva Labs, which is the number one project. So now they have ownership of the number one project and the number two project. And Guy Oseary also represents the World of Women project. Now you have all of these different projects that are at the top of their tier, and they're all within this conglomerate and have all the connections to one guy. Holders are offered commercial rights for their NFTs. And after the acquisition of CryptoPunks, you may have noticed that a video came out by Yuga Labs the next week. When they acquired them, they were added to the list for IP rights, which is alongside Bored Ape Yacht Club, Bored Ape Kennel Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, CryptoPunks now, and Meebits. Now they can use that creative right within videos. So you can see in the other side video that was posted by Yuga Labs, you see 7 different PFP projects. You have the Nouns DAO in the top left corner of the actual submarine here. You have Meebits, you have World of Women, Cool Cats, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, CryptoPunks, and a Cryptoad up there in the front. I'll get to Cryptoad and Nouns DAO in just a second, but 4 of the 7 that are in this car or submarine are now connected to Guy Osiri, who is a founder of We New Moments, which is the creator of 10KTF. Now, to thicken the pot, we also have a very, very prominent figure that is frequent our Discord constantly, and he is the creator of Cryptoads. His name is Grimplin. Grimplin created Cryptoads after he was in the CryptoPunks Discord, and he it's now since a CCO, which is I can't remember the connection there. Creative Commons. Yeah, and he is also one of the founders of Nouns DAO. Now, Nouns DAO is also featured within this submarine that was in the Yuga Labs video recently. In the top left corner, you see the Nouns DAO. In the bottom right corner, you see the Cryptoad. And they're all connected to 10KTF from Grimplin, who's always in our Discord. And he's actually one of the OGs within the Discord that 10KTF is. In order to be an OG, you have to be in the Grailed chat, and one of the top either holders or one of the most prominent members in the community that's posted a lot of different messages. And so for him to be a part of the community, it shows that there's some connection to be able to bring them into the project, which is also connected to Yuga Labs. Now, going a bit further on the timeline. Now, what is WAGMI San and what does 10KTF has to do with any of that? Well, when you look at WAGMI San, he is actually the old guy that's depicted in the newspaper ad right below. He is the Taylor of the Metaverse, is the coin name that he's received. A digital artisan, as Gucci puts it, and I'll get into that later. But he is the master behind crafting all these projects onto these different garments. And it doesn't stop with just high tops. On 9/22, the WAGMI San and his assistant shopkeepers keep all the announcements, server changes, and anything related to the 10KTF shop in a news channel. And this is where that was posted, that picture. On 9/23, they release day packs, and they allow people to actually, they just show up in the Discords again all of a sudden, and people start minting these day packs, which are literal backpacks that almost look like, Herschel, right? The little design on the bottom of the bag, it looks like Herschel almost. And when you look at the day packs, you're able to mint all your different PFPs to the day pack. Same setup as what they did weeks earlier with the high tops, but this time with a new actual pack, which is the day pack. Now, what's interesting though is that they closed early. So WAGMI San, he was only open for 7 hours. The shop closed early and people weren't able to mint. Some people missed out on the opportunity. From an outsider's perspective, looking at NFT projects, this may come as this team is inexperienced. They don't know what's going on. Why are they closing the mint early? Did something screw up? Did they have a breach? There's all kinds of different speculation on what could happen, but it's all planned. And you find out that within the post, they say, "Where are you? You said 10, not 7." Now, this is cryptic right here, the cross and then the T right there, but that's what that stands for, and I'll get into the reasoning behind that in a minute. The shop was only open for 7 hours, and it says right here, the next day you see that WAGMI San is black and blue. He's been beat up, and there's the knife with the note in the table. The tea cups are broken, and it says, "They found me. Had to pay triple but I am okay. Just a few small bruises. They don't want this much attention in their district. They told me to stop or else. Took everything I had except for some of the raw materials I've hidden. Maybe my loyal customers can help store them safely. So now we're getting into the meat and potatoes. We're starting to really become a part of the story. We become attached to the character and the development of Wagmi-san, who he is, why is he getting beat up? But if you notice, the first post that the shopkeeper ever made, it said, protection money is due. So now we're starting to piece things together within the story and understand, well, who is beating up Wagmi-san? What do they want from him? They want his money, right? So that leads us to the next step. On 9/26 through 10/1, Wagmi-san said that he needs our help. He needs loyal customers' help because he had some material hidden, but they want to, use him. So the shop has been raided and Wagmi-san was injured. Our enemies were here and they took what was not theirs. Wagmi-san has to find a way to hide and protect what little assets he has left. He turns to see who his true friends are. He finds 6 rolls of film in the back of his store. A snapshot is taken. Now, within this project, what's really interesting is that they only post tweets and sometimes in the news feed. The tweets are typically only a photo. So when we get this information, this photo up top with 6 different reels in the camera is posted, and you still see that Wagmi-san's all beat up. So this is right after, but he's healed a little bit, right? He's healed up, so he's been thinking about how he's going to make his next step and what a snapshot is, right? He needs his true friend's help. So a snapshot's going to be taken, which, as a holder of any project, what a snapshot means. That means that they're going to, airdrop you something or give you a claim or whatever it might be. So now through this period of time, we know that we need to hold the actual bags and the shoes that we've collected from the previous mints. Well, no other than October 6th, all of a sudden, every loyal customer, anyone that was holding one of the bags or one of these shoes was airdropped these different materials and these tools. Materials or, reusable tools that were going to be used later on. And they're used to craft blanks. And I'll get into blanks later on, but every holder gets dropped all these different materials and these tools. We have no idea what's going on. We don't know what they're used for. They actually have 0 use at the point that we get them delivered, right? We just got these NFTs that show up and we know that we're part of the story and we need to build. We're helping hold, Wagmi-san's material. So that way, his enemies can't get the materials from him, right? If he doesn't have them in his possession, meaning his wallet, then he doesn't have to worry about them getting stolen. So the next thing that we see is Boss Toads is created. So as the internet sleuths and detectives that we are within our project and our community that we're building, we are tracking wallets, we're tracking information, we're deep diving into anything that we possibly can. And on 10/11, and a new account is created and it's called Boss Toads. The Toads are Wagmi-san's sworn enemy. They continue to torment the craftsman for protection money. While they steal and destroy his property, they know that Wagmi-san has outsmarted them by hiding his raw materials, and they're looking for vengeance. So the Cryptoad was purchased by this wallet for 9.69 ETH and renamed to Boss Toads, which means that they are able to do that because of the CCO that is created by Boss Toads or by Cryptoads. So there's no immediate connection to Cryptoads other than that they have the ability to actually use one of their NFTs and build them into the storyline. But all that we got as a community was this image of this toad with a sweater on. That's all that we received, and we were able to uncover this wallet here. On 10/12 through 10/15, we start to see this wallet that just popped up just sweep the floor. They start buying back all these backpacks. So anything that's still available in Wagmi-san's shop is bought. Okay, so he's stealing the bags. He's stealing these shoes. He's literally buying up everything that he can, and he buys 70-day packs. This new wallet. So what they do with all the NFTs they end up purchasing through the Boss Toads account is then burning it. And that's a sign of war to Wagmi-san. And so they're telling this amazing story, and they're doing it in a way that nobody has seen before. Most projects, when they're buying up a floor, it's actually typically viewed as a negative connotation. It's a bad thing because they're trying to raise the floor price. In this case, it's actually built into the story. It's a part of you being engaged in what's going on and them actually knowing way ahead of time what they're going to do and how they're going to deliver on that. So they end up buying, day packs and shoes from 10/12 through 10/15, which is really incredible. And then on 10/21, they actually release these blanks. Okay. And you may notice within these pictures that they release, you can see that there's the tools, there's all the material, there's all the different items that all the holders got airdropped that they now can use to craft these specific items. And you have to hold these specific materials or tools in order to craft specific items. So if you want to craft a hat, you need thread and you need scissors. And that's, what you'd use to craft a hat. If you're, wanting to craft a backpack, you need the cloth, you need the thimble, you need all these different items to be able to do that. So on 10/21, we'll release this information. Now, this is something that's extremely important. And the reason why is because, hold on one second. The reason why that's important is because all these different things only released after they cut out all the people that were selling their items on the floor. They got rid of every collector that was willing to sell their NFTs, the free mints or the day pack and the shoes that they were able to get one per parent NFT that they had. So they're immediately shortening and cutting out all the people that are not diamond hands and aren't true friends of Wagmi-san, which is an incredible marketing decision when you really break down the dynamic of what they're doing within this project. So now we release all these different things. We know the crafting recipes. We know what we can actually make with these different materials and tools. The next day, we're released all the different rarities. We're released, how many of each set are going to be out there, right? How many of these different rarity scores are possible for mint. So the note displays the rarities for all minted and not minted high tops and day packs, as well as some additional memos for Wagmi-san to himself. There are Wagmi-san's random thoughts and perhaps clues for the future. Now, this is the information that we received. So when you look at this document, this paper, now the community starts to speculate. They dig into the details, and you can see this apple at the top with a crosswalk and a light. You can see put it here, and it's a walk sign guy. And then it says, the only way it works is if I make the private key public, and that's crossed out, right? So you're able to start to infer from all these different things that are actually Wagmi-san's personal notes. They're actually clues to something in the future that we're, as a community, going to actually find out and identify. So this is on October 11th. Now, the next event is actually on November 4th when NFT NYC takes place. And what happens is Wagmi-san sends an image of him putting a wallet into this portal. And if you look at the portal, you can see that is Times Square. You can actually break it down and see what's going on right here. So during this time, everyone assembles all these clues from the previous note here. And you can see that there's a crosswalk, and this is the big apple. And this is the, the street light, and this is the crosswalk sign. So now everyone starts to assemble, all these different clues, and we're able to identify a certain location where a note might be listed. And then once we have the people on the ground in New York City that are attending the event, they start to post these clues that they start to find at the specific location. And the people on the other side, the community that is not there in person, we in the Discord are going to start to work together as a community to really decrypt and decipher what this means. And so we work together, we assemble all these different letters and combinations, and we discover that this is a private key. And as you notice in the note before, it says the only way it works is if I make the private key public. So now we have this number combination up here at the top. That's the public key. We know that we need to decipher it and make it the private key. Now, once we had the private key, what we're able to do as a community is plug them in and look at all the different permutations on an Excel spreadsheet. And we divvy that up as a community, and we all plug in the private key into a MetaMask, and we literally populate the MetaMask wallet to see if there's any changes that have been made through these different variations of the actual private key code. Eventually, we discover one wallet, and that wallet's name is New Tokyo Wormhole. We identify that this wallet has been created, and some of the metadata on OpenSea has actually been changed to actually be a wallet. So we know that we found something there. The Grailed frantically work together to discover the mystery behind the scavenger hunt. The clues piece together to form a public key. This public key is then deciphered by a 10KTF community. They discover the New Tokyo Wormhole wallet, where they have a social experiment. Wagmi-san, he's a man of honor, and we know from being in his Discord that he wants only true friends that are going to support him and be there for the long term. So he tests us in this moment, and he deposits money directly into the wallet to see what we do as a community. We all have access to this one wallet. We know the actual, everybody has access. So immediately whenever money got deposited in there, you started to, we hesitated, we waited, we didn't know what we were going to do. And then eventually somebody steals the money out of the wallet, and then they deposit more money in it, and somebody steals it. And then this goes on for a little while, and we don't know who is, taking the money unless you trace back the wallets to see what wallets are, whose. But what people did within a span of 5-10 minutes is they created burner wallets that they were then able to steal the money out of, right? And so now 10KTF knows who his true friends are, who had access to it, and who is friends that aren't friends are, right? And they say that, those who can be trusted will be rewarded, and those who are not true friends will not. So later on, within that wallet, we notice that there's a map. And this, I'll get back to the true friends thing in a minute, but the wallet holds one NFT, and that one NFT is this map that consists of all the different parent projects within 10KTF. You have Oni, you have Cool Cats, you got Pudgy Penguins, you got, all these different projects that are actually identified right here within the map. So now we know New Tokyo exists. It's the floating city of New Tokyo sailing along a river of Ethereum. Next week, Wagmi-san will open up his shop. Citizens will be able to use materials to make blanks. Blanks will be the only way to make new items, okay? So now we know that they are no longer creating Genesis items. We know that any, item that is created from that point forward will now only be crafted. They are crafted only. So Wagmi-san on November 4th then opens the shop and allows for people to craft. This is something that's, innovative. It breaks the mold of everything that we've ever seen, because no project has actually airdropped these different tools and materials and then created a platform to where you can burn the material and use reusable tools to craft an NFT that's never been, out there on the market before. So they're already breaking the mold and doing something that's totally different. And there's so much mystery, and they're telling a story the whole way through. So now people are minting these blanks, right? And then all of a sudden, on a week or two later, we have these other images show up, and it's a mysterious character appears. This person, we have no idea who this is, but she shows up in the back alley, and there's a truck that says definitely illegal, merchandise, and you have all these clues. So as a community, we start to really, break this apart and try to understand what this means. And you on 12/3 on December 3rd, you see that a letter was discovered on Wagmi-san's desk, and displayed in it, we actually add in 3 new projects. We add in Gutter Cat Gang, we got Wolf Gang, Wolf Game, and now Cryptodes is a part of the project. So all of a sudden, they buy this Cryptode, they add them into the storyline, and then a few weeks later, now they're a parent project within the actual whole project itself that you can mint crafted materials into, right? or crafted blanks into a crafted item. They also reveal that what we had speculated on weeks before, that all items that were previously minted are considered Genesis. And Genesis is, king, is what all the shopkeepers have said since the beginning. They are super important and they're rewarded heavily. And what's interesting about the airdrop is based on rarity scoring and different things like that. You actually would be rewarded and compensated differently. So take that into consideration as we move forward. But in certain materials can be only obtained through ownership of these objects. Blanks are not considered Genesis and can only be used to mint the next generation of PFPs. Okay, so this is really, really interesting. Now it furthers the story on 12/8, where WAGMI posts these things on Twitter, and it says it has all the toads. They got binoculars, they got, baseball bats, and they're hanging out outside of the 10KTF shop. And it says WAGMI making his shop look empty on purpose. And now his true friends are making money selling blanks and materials. All this to dodge paying us protection money. We'll get our hands on materials in the future. Watch your Genesis disappear. Okay. Now, this is foreshadowing something that they're going to do. But what's really interesting here is that it's all a part of the story. They airdropped all the blanks and the materials, so that way WAGMI-san didn't have to pay protection money to the toads, right? So he's having his true friends help his business continue to move forward. And so Boss Toads, then they steal more bags from the store and they sweep the floor with another $80,000. So this is to raise the floor and introduce, this, add more to the story. They steal bags off the floor. And then literally an hour later, they post another image, and it's the wolves. The wolves are actually watching the cryptodes across the street that are looking at the 10KTF shop. And they say, toads keep filling up their pouches with protection money, but how bountiful would WAGMI-san's pockets be if Boss Wolf ran this part of the neighborhood? Wolves are the kings of this wool game. So they just got introduced to the project. Now they're getting introduced to the storyline. The next week or next day, we get this image posted in the Discord. And as you can see, there's two backpacks. You have shopkeepers leak images of two people wearing a cool cat and a Bored Ape Yacht Club day pack in real life. They're spitting images of the crafted and day packs that are currently in the collection, which hints and foreshadows that they're going to deliver on physical in real life items. That same day, they open up the shop for people to be able to mint their PFP onto blank, items, whether you have a day pack or you have high tops, different things like that. There's also now been at this point in time where you can actually craft cat ear hoodie, you can mint hoodies, you can mint socks, you can mint all these different items. And the community, because of the rarity leak, we're able to actually go in and use the different IPFS storage and uncover whether we're going to mint a rare item or we're going to mint an epic or different rarity scores. So we're able to actually go in, because we're a part of the community, and see the rarity of the items that we're minting before we actually go and mint it, in the shop. And later on, WAGMI opens that up to the rest of the, world. But you can see literally 1 week later, he leaks all the rarities. Before, the community was just doing it, and we were able to see everything. But now the whole community has access to it. But WAGMI shares with the community how rarity is also distributed amongst the crafted items that were released before. Now, as the story moves forward, that same day on 12/16, they say physicals will be distributed based on participation in the battle for New Tokyo in April of 2022. You'll not be able to help WAGMI-san without a 10KTF item. Remember, physicals are only a portion of WAGMI-san's journey. So now we see Win Moon's truck, driving down the street. We also have this big, gigantic mech in the background with Figgy's Bored Ape on the picture of this, giant mech, right? So we know that we're going to need to help protect, WAGMI-san in the Battle of New Tokyo with all of our items in our bags and these different tools. Now, during this period of time, this is around Christmas. And so Wagme San, he gives his shopkeepers and himself a vacation, and he expresses that from December 20th to January 3rd. They'll continue to craft blanks. And then up until January or December 23rd. And then on January 13th, he'll step outside the shop to pursue his favorite hobby again of photography. So during this period of time, they're going to take a break, and we read between the lines, and it's not really outside the lines or reading too in depth, but we know that another snapshot is going to be taken. Now, the next snapshot or the next thing that happens and thing that is announced is staking. So now we know that you can stake the tools, which are reusable, to get a reward each time someone uses it in the shop. Rewards are distributed among contributors based on the tool stake. And I want to back up here for a minute. As we know, like this whole project, it's about finding Wagme-san's true friends. And when the minting for PFPs onto bags became available, that wasn't the first test. What was a test for the community is whenever crafting became available for all these different items, because only certain people got airdropped these tools that were able to be used to mint these different items. And I'll tell you the relevance of that to staking in a minute. But at this point in time, as a community, these tools were very scarce and only a few holders had them, and they were valued very high, anywhere between 1 and 3 ETH for different items. The measuring tape, which was the most rare and could only create certain items, was actually extremely highly valued. And so what was interesting about this is during this period of time, we really built the community even closer, because what we did is we worked together to basically share tools as a community. And the project hadn't developed this, feature where you could actually use the tools and, borrow them or anything like that. So it was extremely risky. And so what we did is, like, I had several friends within the community that I know had certain tools. And so I would send them my material, and then they would craft my blank for me and send it back. And they were doing this at no cost. So as a community, we all are working together, and we actually created certain threads within the Discord to work together to actually get the right material and the right tools to actually craft these different items. And we all work together to be able to develop these different blanks and get them minted. And it really shows the power of community building whenever you do that, because you're trusting somebody else that you have you've never met. They're completely anonymous. And through the relationship that you've built within Discord, you're sending them these NFTs that you paid money for them to actually, in return for nothing, send you back this other item. And we had 0 people steal any items. We didn't have any, people complain or have issues about, sending back and forth different items and getting what they wanted back in return. And later on, that was opened up to the community, and other people were actually giving input. And somebody who was brand new to the Discord that only had a thread, they were being invited to send somebody with scissors. They would get connected with them to create a blank hat, and this was happening continuously, which is really, really incredible. So now forward to this date on 12/18, I believe, or on January 6th, now tools are able to be staked, and they're staked for a reward. And we don't know what that reward is yet, but what this does for us as a community is now whenever you go to craft an item, you don't have to borrow somebody's tool. You're able to actually pay what you would pay to actually craft the item. And each of the tool owners get a kickback for any of the items that are actually minted and crafted, which is really incredible. So now they're rewarding the community by distributing, rewards back to tool holders. The next week, we get introduced to NTD. NTD stands for New Tokyo Dollars, and they immediately say 10KTF's new in-game important ERC20 token, New Tokyo Dollars, will enable you to acquire the next phase of materials, tools, Grailed items, physical rewards, and adventures yet to be discovered in New Tokyo. Now with this, we're able to speculate and we're able to really uncover that there's going to be a game and that the new Tokyo is going to be at the center of all that, right? To qualify for the initial allocation, you must be captured on WAGMI Sands special roll of film by owning at least one 10 KTF item by January 13th. New items added to your collection after the 13th will be included in the snapshot if they are held until January 27th. New Tokyo dollars will be distributed to holders of Genesis handcrafted accessories, rarities, length of time held, and owners of full sets will all be rewarded accordingly during distribution. Interesting part about this is this was all voted on by the community on how we wanted to reward people, whether we wanted to pay more attention to people that own full sets or if we wanted to reward people more for length of time held. And this is all voted on by the community, and we chose that length of time held would be rewarded more than somebody who owns a full set. Now, a full set constitutes of at least one of each type of accessory. That's day pack, high tops, socks, everything, minted for the same PFP. Genesis reigns supreme. Okay, that means that Genesis items are the most important. They're going to yield the most reward. Earn more New Tokyo dollars by staking your tools or as bounty in future missions to help WAGMI Sand free New Tokyo from the grasp of the city's gritty underlords. So now with this New Tokyo dollar released, we discover how to actually earn it and what we need to do. We know that we need to hold an item in our wallet from 113 to 127, and it's a long exposure that WAGMI Sand's about to take. And he posts this image that shows the dates blocked out and his camera right next to it to let us know what is actually taking place. Now, rarity is important here and different things. So we know that, if you have rare items, that they're going to be allocated more tokens. And if you have less rare items, you're not going to be rewarded as much. If you have a Genesis item, you're going to earn even more than somebody who has a crafted, common. So on February 10th, we're able to access the back alley where Win Moon is. And Win Moon is able to tell us what our New Tokyo dollar allocation is going to be. Me, I'm fortunate enough to actually receive 22,228 New Tokyo dollars. That has not been redeemable yet. We have not been able to claim them. And right now my tools are being staked and they're just earning me this New Tokyo dollar. Now, you can see like as far as what this storyline is going, it's all being built in into what's going on. So the next week on 2/17, 10 KTF launches an art competition to the community, and winners are rewarded with inventory that Win Moon, she ended up stealing back from the Boss Toads. And so now she's able to actually reward different people, and you can see within her wallet the storyline continues that she's stealing these bags from the Boss Toads, and they're in her wallet now, and she's able to give back to the community by rewarding them for doing any art or derivatives within the space, which is really awesome. Now, the next thing that happens on the timeline is literally right after that, we get this post of a camera with this camera strap of pink, orange, yellow, and everyone is like, what is this? We have no idea what's going on. And so some of the different community members, they have access to different communities themselves, and we discover that this camera strap, it resembles the Super Gucci project that literally just launched. So then we dig in and we uncover through the Super Gucci Super Plastic drop that's actually Gucci's logo for their metaverse. And I'm going to dig into some of this online and kind of show you guys some of the comparisons. But you can see right here that the camera strap, we know that that's part of Gucci. And that's all that we know at this point in time. And we really I joined the Gucci Discord, and I'm one of the first 5,000 members in the Gucci Discord. And I start to really dig in, and finally, as a Discord, as a community, we start to really dig into the different people that are joining our Discord. What are these names? Who are they? What are they, a part of? And somebody uncovers that different people within our Discord actually have direct connections to Gucci's Discord, and some of the moderators are actually frequenting our 10K Discord. So we quickly, were able to derive that Gucci is going to collaborate with 10KTF, and that they were going to take a snapshot to actually deliver these out. Okay. So they say, we are thrilled and honored to embark on this imaginative journey with you. The Discord community of Vault, this is right off of Gucci's Discord. Together, we will travel across dimensions through uncharted digital realms in search of deeper connections, letting ingenuity lead the way. Something exquisite might emerge as Vault calls upon a certain digital artisan to reimagine the historic know-how of Gucci. Alessandro Michel, the creative director of Gucci, said this. Okay. Now, within this, what's really interesting is at the certain point in time, they actually had the wording on some of the different posts saying that Wagmi-san was the tailor of the metaverse. And so now you have Gucci, one of the most recognizable brands, partnering with 10KTF to deliver a collaboration. The next week, we're able to, some of you guys may have followed this project, but what we were able to actually uncover through the next series of tweets by 10KTF is what these, different NFTs were going to look like. And what's really awesome about the 10KTF community is that the top 100 holders and the top 100 contributors within Discord actually received a free 10KTF and Gucci mint pass just for being a part of the community, helping be there and being one of what they call the OGs. Now, within Super Gucci and their project, they were also given that mint pass for free as well. So you can tell that 10KTF has deep ties to helping their true friends, the people that are going to contribute and be a part of the community and really be a part of what they have going behind the scenes. They've never been, marketing. They haven't marketed the project at all. They've done everything grassroots. They're building from the ground up, and it's been slow and steady. And they have a hardcore community that works around like a cult. And we're all we're detectives. There's somebody in the community called Diamond Hands that does breakdowns each week of what's going on with the community. He is also by profession an ex-researcher. So he dives in and he really digs the depths of the internet to really uncover more material and really deep dive and speculate. And he does a podcast or Twitter Spaces every Friday that goes into more detail of the project and what people are speculating on what's going on. And it's ever changing, which is really incredible. But we later find out that Gucci is a part of this project. Alessandro Michel is a huge part of creating these things with Wagmi-san, which has now been uncovered as my PFP and this project as parent projects wearing a Gucci collabed item on their PFP. So you have Bored Apes now with Gucci, you have Cool Cats with Gucci, you have all these different parent projects that minted these items with their Gucci swag, right? Now, digging into people that are joining the 10KTF community, it starts to get really expansive, and it's really incredible the depth of range that we have here. Rufus Wright, he is actually the global director of digital growth, and if you look at his Discord, OGs are the top 200 people in the Discord, which means that he's either one of the top holders or he's one of the top contributors in order to actually have that name. Now, Rufus Wright is not the only connection, but I want to point this out because it just goes to show the actual connections and the speculation and how all this all ties together. You notice that Gucci was able to partner with Adidas, and then they released different, soccer jerseys for different teams that were literally a collaboration between Adidas and Gucci. Through these relationships that 10KTF or We New Studios or even Possible Productions have created from these different big corporations, we're able to make the connection that a lot of this is much deeper than what meets the eye and what's on the surface. We're able to see that there's a lot of prominent figures within the 10KTF Discord beyond just Adidas, but we have Gucci joining in. We have Mike Powder.eth, who we're able to really take apart and see what's actually going on. And so who else is in our Discord? that we may have, that is a part of it that may have slipped through the cracks. Who knows, right? But we know that, We Knew Moments has a lot of connections. And one of the biggest things that they just recently did is one of their partners, Endeavor, which I talked about earlier, they actually just purchased OpenBet. Now, OpenBet, that is a big, big deal because a lot of the NFT space is moving into gambling and being able to bet on certain sporting events or even, games or different things like that. OpenBet is literally the operating system that DraftKings, FanDuel, WinBet, SkyBet, all these different, companies, they're the bet builder. They're literally the software that all these different companies use. And they license that out to these companies so that way they can use it, meaning that the acquisition of Endeavor is something that's massive for us to really take into consideration as we move forward. Beyond just the connections of We Knew, I mean, you have Taylor Gehring, who is a co-founder, as you can see in the bottom right on his Twitter, of Ethereum. And he is one of the largest holders within 10KTF. He actually owns a ton of 10KTF. He has one of the largest, he has the Mega Mutant from the Mutant Ape Yacht Club. And one of the first things that he did after he used his super mutant serum is he got a whole set of 10KTF crafted for his Mega Mutant. So it goes much deeper, a lot of ties. You have Paul Billings right here, which is the COO, and he's talking about 10KTF early on, and he says Wagmi-san always says, why have roadmaps when you can have an adventure? And I'll talk about the importance of that in just a second, but I always like to take the roadmap less traveled. Now, he is a big part of the actual community. He's obviously the chief operations officer. The importance behind what he was saying right there is that Wagmi-san and 10KTF, they have no roadmap. We have no idea what's going on. We don't know what the future looks like for the project or what's going on. But one of the things that we do know is the fact that because they don't have a roadmap, one of the things that Beeple has said, and he shared along the way, is that roadmaps actually reduce the creativity. They make it to where people expect what is to come and it gets stale fast. So they're more in the business of telling a story and making it something that's an impact on them and gives you true emotion and excitement every step of the way, because we wonder and we speculate and we're able to really work together as a community. We're building a tight-knit community that really loves the project, but along the way you're also speculating and you have no idea what's to come. And so whenever something big does come, it adds that much more excitement to what is happening with the storyline. And we have a lot of different theories and a lot of speculation of what is to come. Within 10KTF, it doesn't end with just the Gucci. Gucci is a side quest on a much larger mission. And one thing I want to go back to is that Guy Osiri, he is a part of everything. And all of these founders are so incredible. And one thing I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this screen. And I'm going to jump into just sharing some of this real quick with you guys. As I mentioned earlier, when you get into We Knew, this is their actual website right here. You can see that Louis is one of the first thing, and they created Louis the Game. Now, Louis the Game is a very expansive project that is partnered with Louis Vuitton, and they created that. And they have much more deeper ties to a lot of different people. Time, IMG, Warner Music Group, Universal Music Group, Wimbledon. When you dig down and you look at their team, you can see all these different people. Beeple is insane. Everyone knows his name, brand recognition itself. But Michael Figge is the CEO and co-founder. When you look at Michael Figge and you look at what he's accomplished, he is the one that pieces everything together. And when you dig deeper, much, much deeper, you're able to actually tie him back to Possible. Okay. And when you go to Possible, and I'm actually going to pull this up over here. We're going to just go Possible. Possible is, a part of a lot of different things, and they go much deeper as well. So you can see that they, help produce the visuals for Ariana Grande and all these different people. But their team is extremely expansive too. And Michael Figge is at the forefront of all that. He is an important piece of this puzzle. And so is Guy Osiri. Guy Osiri is literally responsible for so many different things. And he is connected to so many different people. And their company, Sound Ventures, is invested in a lot of different things as well. So when you really break down what's going on, it's really incredible the ties that these people have and what is possible. Notice recently how a lot of the different projects, the parent projects, are all releasing these different they're releasing all their tokens right now. World of Women just released their token. ApeCoin was just distributed. And a lot of that is very, interesting, because the other side, the video from Yuga Labs, talks about April being a big month. And the whole time that, 10KTF has been rolling out these new different pieces of the storyline, they say that the Battle of New Tokyo is going to take place in April. And all of these different parent projects are pointing to April being a big focal point in their roadmap and what's going on. And you can see, the way that, WAGMI delivers these messages is really incredible. They tell the story directly through their Twitter. And if you really want to be engaged and be a part of the community and enjoy the speculation and really understand the project, you want to follow the account and really speculate with the rest of the community. We were able to see, what the WAGMI or the Gucci drop was going to look like beforehand by seeing how they were going to assemble it. And just that project in itself, we can expect many more collaborations with big names because of something that went so successful with Gucci. Gucci is not a Web3, business. So they need assistance being able to move into the space and actually have guidance and deliver on a high level. So what better way than to do it with a project that's well established, that has a solid community, that's able to do that moving forward. So the fact that Gucci has gone well and they were able to deliver on everything that they promised is really incredible. And when you think about what they did just on a generative project aspect, they had to actually go in and they had to tweak all these different graphics. When you think about 11 parent projects and you think about 10,000 on average for each project that's released, that right there is so many different permutations of what they had to manage and deal with to deliver the 5,000 Gucci PFPs that are now in existence today. And they did work. They actually went in, they had to adjust, they had to make sure that each PFP was to the quality and specifications that they wanted. And you can see that because you saw Andrew Wang, who owns the Upside Down Cool Cat. WAGMI San says up, up, down, down, left, right, and they show that they, took every single PFP into consideration and they made it perfect for the drop. And they made it so that way it was going to work for everyone. So we can expect and speculate that moving forward, there's probably going to be more collaborations. As I said earlier, Gucci is a side quest. We don't know what the utility, we don't know what anything that's going to come from that is. We can speculate all day long that, there'll be different things that, correlate, but we don't really know. Now, going back to the Gucci camera strap, I wanted to make sure that we made that connection. When you go to Gucci Vault, and the first thing that I did is I went to Gucci's Discord after discovering that, and that's where I was able to kind of piece together that WAGMI was the digital artisan that they were referring to. But if you go to Metaverse on the Gucci Vault website, you were able to actually directly correlate the camera strap early on to Gucci. And we knew that without having all this now put on their website, we were able to, decipher that because of the super plastic drop that they had previously, but it was all because of this background that was in existence before. And so we were able to kind of pinpoint that. So get in the Discord and really become a part of the speculation and have the fun. And what I've really started to understand about 10KTF is that, when you really break it down and you see what they are building and you're seeing how everything is broken up, we know that there's a lot more to come and we don't know what to expect at all. And I can only imagine where this thing is going. So I'm sure that there's a lot of questions. So I'm gonna actually open up the floor and let you guys kind of ask as many questions as you want.
Real quick, would you be able to just pull his Twitter back, or the not his Twitter, the Bored Ape Yacht Club Twitter up real quick and play that video of them like flying in the spaceship together, just to kind of tie it all in?
Yeah. This is one of my favorite videos. I love it.
Can't hear the sound if you're playing the sound.
Oh, I do have the sound up. Can you not hear it?
No, we can't, but it's good. Move the seaweed pro, Jason. While this is playing, I also want to point out that Yuga Labs is a company that has individuals from Microsoft and Nike and some of the biggest companies in the world, Facebook, Google, that is now working for them. And they just raised about $450 million in VC funding. And judging by this video here, you can tell that they've got a good amount of money.
So, Dylan, based on what you said, which one of the collections do you think has, or do you think will have more potential value? Is it the penguins? Is it these, Gucci Grailed apes or mutants? Or because you mentioned there's side quests. So like for me as an investor, I want to know which one can maximize my value or my return of investment, even though these are JPEGs and they're not, they don't have like an initial value to them. We don't know the future value of it. But I mean, based on your experience, like what would you say is right?
I'll tell you right now that through that presentation they say that Genesis will reign supreme, right? So the Genesis project is just 10 KTF, and I'm actually going to show you that. My laptop's going to die here. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull this up real fast. Might transfer to my phone in just a second, but you can see right here when you pull up OpenSea. So let me hop on OpenSea real quick. Exit out of these. If I look up, it's struggling right now. There's a lot of different collections here. You have the stock room where all the materials and the tools are actually located. You have the Gucci Grail Mint Pass. The speculation on that is that it's going to be a crossover between Gucci, items, and then you're also going to have the crossover of crossover between 10 KTF value. So you are going to get Gucci stuff if you're a part of the Gucci Grail. A lot of people are speculating like physical items, different things like that, different ways that you could tie it in, as far as what Gucci is going to do with their physical or their future NFT projects. They've announced Gucci directly saying that they haven't released their Genesis project yet. So there's a lot of speculation on what value there could be, but the most important one, to be honest, is the 10 KTF project itself. This one here, it has the most items and it's the lowest entry point. And they have said over and over and over that Genesis is king. The way that you can differentiate between whether it's a Genesis item or if it's a crafted or a crafted is literally right there. So you can see right here, if you go buy now, you can see all the different bags and shoes and stuff, socks.
Which ones are there? The Genesis one again?
So it says crafted on the bottom.
Okay.
If it's
Crafted,
actually, well, hold on. So crafted is the ones that are crafted and created. The Genesis will have nothing. It won't say anything next to it. And if you actually go down here to properties, you can look up the rarity and you can also select Genesis. So there's 14,761 Genesis items that you're able to choose from. these are going to be the most valuable, 100%. They're going to give you the most NTD, which is their token. They're going to give you the most value. They're going to do everything for you.
Didn't the snapshots already happen for these, or are they doing more snapshots for the airdrops or for the token?
So when you take a look back, and this is literally like reading into things, when you look back at the 6 camera rolls that Wagme-san originally put on his table back in the workshop originally, you know that we've only had 3 snapshots. So that means that there's 3 more snapshots that are coming. We don't know what those are yet. We don't know. We can only speculate on what's going to happen. But we do know that there's going to be a battle for New Tokyo in April. And I would assume that we're going to be airdropped, weapons or tools or something to help Wagme, fight in the battle in New Tokyo.
Okay. So do you recommend getting like those apes? Because I was looking at the Gucci Grail apes, and the thing is, like, they are more like a secondary version of the original ones, the original board apes or original mutant apes with like a Gucci fit on them, right? So I don't
like I said, I don't worry about Gucci Grail as much. I mean, that's
Okay.
a collaboration. People see value in, Gucci. So there's value in that itself. But the Mint Pass, by the way, you can't use the Mint Pass anymore. The Mint Pass, it was only able to be redeemed for like 3 days. If you buy one of those, it's completely useless. Just want to throw that out as a disclaimer. The Gucci Grailed collection, that's actually something that, there is future utility for, and there's speculation that there's going to be physical items that you're able to, create from that. Now, what you're saying is correct. If you buy a Gucci Grailed, there's a lot of value in the, having the parent NFT that created that, right? Mutant apes and board ape Gucci Grailed items are going for more money than an Oni or a Pudgy Penguin in the Gucci outfit. But it's really about perceived value on that currently. But we know that 10KTF, they have always delivered. And Wagme-san is a man of honor. And we know that he would not have us mint a Mint Pass for 1 ETH each if there wasn't going to be future value in what he's creating with Gucci. So we know that this isn't the end of Gucci and their collaboration with 10KTF and what they're planning for it.
Gotcha.
I don't have a question, just more of a comment. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I might switch.
I was just going to say, Tim Smith was another one of those people that you pointed out. The co-founder of No Fine Print, and he co-founded that with Pat Cochran. Pat Cochran, if you know the name, was the manager that brought Chance the Rapper from nobody in Chicago to a 3-time Grammy winner. So another cool connection.
I mean, when you go down the rabbit hole, and that's what I've been saying to Ryan this whole time, like, we've only scratched the surface. Like, I could go and I could pull up all the patents that I have on the project. I could show you guys like way more in-depth sleuthing that we've done, but the rabbit hole is extensive and the connections are mind-boggling. The ideas and the different, connections that they have to be able to do certain things. I mean, you look at Gucci and their collaboration with Apple, and you look at Beeple's Everydays, and you really trace back what he's developed. We know that there's a strong connection with Apple. We know that there's a potential that, Apple and 10KTF are working on delivering New Tokyo's game. And what if all these parent projects are actually working on a metaverse together, and 10KTF is at the epicenter of, molding that and making it bridge together. We don't have a metaverse that's been released by Yuga Labs. We don't have a metaverse from these different projects, but we do know that they're all planning on being a part of a metaverse, potentially the other side.
Jason
I got a
says,
quick question. Oh,
Jason says other side ? And maybe New Tokyo is the other side. We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the submarine, all the parent projects, they're all in there. There's so many different connections, and it's all speculation. And that's what's beautiful, is from the beginning, they've told the story and they've only done it through imagery. And, you can only, speculate and infer so much, which is why, it's an entry point that's low. But, those who are willing to actually jump in and be a part of it and they're actually digging into the details, which most of you are lucky enough to have this information shared with you. But imagine going through and trying to uncover all this on your own. You're not going to do the due diligence to actually understand this project and the depth and the layer and the gravity of what it is, to really be a part of it, unless you were one of WAGMI Sand's true friends. And that's what 10KTF stands for. And I want to end it there, is like 10,000 true friends is what 10KTF stands for.
Jason just said Adidas also said the other day, see you on the other side, when they signed off on their recent update after announcing a deeper investment into Yuga Labs. Oh my gosh.
That's what
So
I'm
would
saying,
the
man.
tools make sense as an investment, since you can stake them? Like, do you still get the rewards and stuff like that, or would you go with one of the other options instead?
Oh, dude, tools are going to be incredible. They are going to earn you in new Tokyo dollars. And, you know, the speculation on NTD is that it's going to be a part of the ecosystem that is, you know, all convertible. So milk and ape token and different things, they're all going to be able to actually like convert and work within the ecosystem, and new Tokyo dollar will be at the epicenter of that. Now, staking your tools, thimbles earn 16. You have scissors that earn 32, and then the tape earns something else like every single day. So we don't know currently what those are going to be valued at, but we do know based on a lot of research and sleuthing that there's a certain supply that it's going to be obviously limited. So that's going to increase the value, right?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So
Which one
what
of the
about the
items, sorry?
materials? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so sorry, which one of the items is worth more staking?
The measuring tape.
The measuring tape. Okay.
I bet it's probably like 5 ETH right now.
Wow. Okay.
There's only like, again, what you're going to find is that being a part of the community and being invested in doing, you know, being one of WAGMI Sand's true friends, that you're rewarded the most. So, you know, you have some people that don't have money, but they can contribute in other ways. And a lot of like the ecosystem that they're building is literally like rewarding their holders that are actually in the project and want to be there. A lot of, you know, whales, they have a shit ton of an NFT project, but they don't know anything about the project. They just bought it because they have money, right? So this is definitely a project that you need to pay attention to. And I also, as a caveat, you really don't have to do that much. It's not a huge time commitment. They only post on Thursdays, 1 day a week. And that's where the party happens in Discord. Everybody throws up, you know, gifts, and everybody's dancing. They're having a good time, and, you know, news is released, and like everyone's weird and quirky, and they're just having a grand old time. And they're all literally contributing. And then the rest of the week, when there's no news and there's nothing happening, you have all these people in the community that are still in the Discord grinding. They're just hanging out in there. And I've noticed that some of the, I think it's been like Ryan, and I think is John, is that the other one? You guys have been in the Discord just like grinding. Like they, once they got exposed, they just can't like let up. They're just like, I'm in. And that's what happens. You get sucked in there and you just stick around.
It's pretty cool stuff. It's pretty cool stuff. And something else that I want to point out is, so you're seeing that We New Moments has all these connections to Possible, and then Possible has all these connections, and they're all connected in with like the music industry and celebrities and all that stuff. And I just want to point out, like, who have been the people that have been buying Bored Apes? It's almost like all these individuals knew something that nobody else did. And now, if we're looking at this from a marketing perspective of looking at 10KTF like a business, you'd want to have all of the biggest names own the ticket to get into your metaverse. So if you're, think of it like a comparison with a social media company. Social media companies really start to blow up when they start to see big names like Will Smith jump on TikTok early, Gary Vaynerchuk jump on TikTok early. And that's what we're seeing with this Yuga Labs and 10KTF, with them, all these celebrities and whatnot buying the NFT projects that are going to be inside of this metaverse that's still very cryptic. We don't know what it's actually going to be, but I think it's important to pay attention to that, because the individuals are going to follow where their leaders or their celebrities or where they're going to go. So let's say there is one metaverse to rule them all, which I don't think that's a thing. People will flock to where their idols are located. And I think that's something that's very important to take into consideration.
One of the other things too is people at one of the at an event actually told somebody that, you know, the longevity of this is actually having all the projects within one. And he said that I want to say that was in October at an event. He said that, you know, all the big projects will come together as one for this to actually work.
So speaking on that, is there benefit? Let's say I buy like mutant high tops and I want to also get a day bag. Should I get a mutant day bag? Like, is there benefit of like keeping them together, or, you know, what's the speculation on that?
It really doesn't matter. I mean, I think all the utility is going to be very similar. If you're looking at crafted items, you want to look at, you know, the rarity scoring potentially. But Genesis is Genesis and Genesis is king. So if you buy a pudgy penguin, it's not very different than buying something from Oni. One of the things that a lot of people will do though is they want to match the parent project NFT with the, you know, 10 KTF items that they have. So if you go and buy an Oni, right, you're able to see maybe there's a day pack or a Genesis item that has already been minted and you're able to go pick that up, right? So for me, I've been a part of the project from the beginning. I have my parent project NFT and I have all these, you know, 10 KTF items that I've minted. And now I have Gucci Grailed that's minted from that as well. And so, you know, if I ever sell that Oni, well, now the value, if later on they want those items, the 10 KTF items, now that, you know, Oni, I could sell that for 0.5 ETH, but if they want to be a part of 10 KTF and have those parent or those items, they're going to have to pay a premium. But more importantly, if there's physical items, in order to create with commercial IP rights, you need to have the parent project NFT in order to actually create physicals or other works of art beyond what the derivative is that's created initially. Because you can buy a derivative, but now you can't create other works of art from that derivative because you don't own the commercial rights to the derivative that was created. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Well, who else has some questions for Crypto Dilly?
So can I just get clarification on this? So if you're looking, you're suggesting to us, look at the Genesis items on the 10 KPF, and then look at the rarity of those items, because that's going to give you more opportunity when new drops come in the future, and there's 3 more potentially to come. So it's not necessarily the actual item, whether it's a mutant or it's a pudgy, but it's more of the rarity is what we need to look for. And then personal preference falls there somewhere. But if I'm a pure investor, I'm looking at the opportunity by the rarity of the product that's out there. Is that correct?
Yeah, ultimately, if I was just looking at it as a pure investment, and this is not financial advice, you know, do your own research. No, but I would honestly be buying floor items from the 10 KTF collection. I honestly, like the rarity and stuff like that, we don't really know how that plays a factor into it. They said with the in an NTD allocation, they came out and explicitly said that rarity was going to be accounted for within the allocation. So everything that 10 KTF does, they do meticulously, and they usually foreshadow what's going to happen before it happens, so you understand the value that your NFT has. So getting into it, we all know that Genesis is king, right? So my only, like, if I was gonna have one of my friends buy something right now, I wouldn't have them buy any crafted items. I'd probably be, you know, urging them to buy the Genesis items that are out there. And there's 14,000 of them, and people still don't appreciate the value because they may not know what they're actually holding. Maybe they haven't dug in as deep as I have, or, you know, what have you. You know what I mean?
No, that's great. Thanks so much.
Who else wants to pop in and ask a quick question?
Um, I have one that's kind of not related to this project, but the Ronin one. Any updates on like the roadmap of it?
Roni World is being built, and it's obviously slow and steady. I'm a one-man founder, so obviously building out the project. What we're working on currently is we have an artist that is out of Japan that's working on the illustration of a children's book. That is in progress. It's actually been, I've actually gotten some of the peaks for what they're actually illustrating, and then once that's actually developed, and because we did the story for the children's book out of the community, so we rewarded the holders there, and those that contributed to the storyline of the children's book, and now we're actually creating the children's book. So we are hoping to actually deliver on that by Q2. Every holder of a Roni will actually get a digital NFT of the children's book. Hopefully the transition from there is that once we have the digital NFT out, that we're able to approach a publisher and actually publish the book as a physical. That's the scope of what we're building and delivering on that. And as far as the capital and that what we have, and as an ability to move forward with the project, we're partnering currently with Force as an actual like official collaboration. And we're working on some of the details as far as what that's going to look like. And then we're currently scaling out and building out what Roni Rumbles are going to look like in the future. So we're building in like an in-game engaging, active Discord basically thing that we're going to continue to build and develop over time. But the idea is that we're going to continue to just organically build the community and really build and deliver on, working on the things that make the most sense with the capital that we did raise. Because as we had a supply of 3,500. We only minted 1,000. And as a courtesy to the holders that did mint, we closed the mint and shut it off at 1,000 to, reduce the current supply to add value to what's actually out there. Currently, I think there's only 30 listed out of 1,000. So there's not very many people that are actually selling the project. And a lot of our holders are, people in this community or in 10KTF or Force. With Force having the rug pull that they had, you don't know about that. I can go into detail there, but we launched our project as a derivative extension of Force. So we didn't have the, exact excitement that and I guess support that we would have expected from their project. And I talked a lot about that in our Twitter spaces and stuff leading up to the launch of the project itself.
Is that why the price tanked on Force? Because I noticed like compared to like the other, that one massively tanked, and I feel like that can hurt you guys in terms of because you're the name connection, Ronin, Oni, and like the same art style. I think that was my biggest concern for that. I see that you're working hard on that, but like unless you explain it to people, like
Dylan's laptop died. He's joining from his phone right now.
Oh shit.
All right, sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Yeah, and as I was saying, like that was my biggest concern is that like if you're connected or at least have the similar art style, it gets a bad rep because they've been rug pulled. So now they think that you're part of the Oni Force, and then it's kind of hard to like clear that misconception.
No, it's definitely possible. And as far as like we have been obviously working and partnering with a lot of different people. Everyone knows that Roni World is continuing to build and working. And one of the things that's really nice as a highlight to Oni Force is that they do have a new team, and they're all actually, executing on what they've said. They've had several different, teams actually come in and start to work and try to, execute on what their roadmap is, but nobody's actually executed. But the new team that just recently took over the Oni Force management has really been delivering. And the Oni Force frames, which is a mintable like project that's wrapping your original Oni, is actually going to be released on March 31st, which will add value to the Oni Force, name. They're also working on a ton of different partnerships different things that, originally I think one of the biggest downfalls to Uniforce is the fact that they weren't open to sharing their IP. They were very protective of it. And the founders, they wanted it literally all to themselves. And it came to light that really what they wanted to do was launch this project. And then they made a shit ton of money and they wanted to kind of like drag it along. And then they eventually kind of like slow pulled out. And there's certain founders that are still there that are quietly building behind the scenes and they want the best for the community and the project. But a lot of the funding and what went into the project initially was actually all put in the founders' pockets, which led, Oni to be in a bad position financially to really execute on a lot of the things that they want to do. But the new team, if you listen to any of their new town halls and what they actually have in the works, it's pretty impressive, which is why we're even making a strategic decision to consider doing an official partnership with them now. Before, 2 months ago, no way I would be, talking to Oni about doing any type of collaboration or partnership. But the new team has really, increased my confidence there.
Nice.
I want to point out something real quick. Is this sounds very similar to something that happened with Sushi Swap. And if you saw anything about the sushi's price, it was very high. And then the founder rug pulled and took all the money out. And then it crashed the price. And then Sam Alameda took over. SBF, the guy that owns FTX, became a partner inside of that project and then started to build it back up. And now it's what we know of as sushi.com, which is like the biggest omni-chain decentralized exchange out there. So this isn't something that hasn't happened before and then had a project come back to life after being taken over by new hands. And the people that actually invested during the darkest ages of that time with sushi are now being very well rewarded. So this could very well be a very similar occurrence in the NFT world.
Well, the thing with that, I'm sorry to interrupt. The thing with that is that when a project rug pulls, you need transparency, and that's my biggest concern with these NFT projects is the lack of transparency with people, being public and whatnot. Because if they, like the one that you explained, 10K TF, that doesn't really necessarily need to be transparent because there's so many teams and even though they are transparent, but there's so many things involved into it. It's so much in depth with all these big brand companies. But when you have a solo individual project that has been formally linked with something or that has become anonymous and the rugs, you need transparency for a new one so people can build that faith.
That's one of the big things. I mean, what's really interesting is that Uniforce was actually all doxed. Every single member of the team, actually, we knew who they were. We've seen them in public. We know them. We saw them flaunting their money, right? Like JR is one of the founders and he's a part of several other projects. So being fully doxed actually isn't the, root of, success. But one of the things that I do agree with is that having an organization and a structured corporation that's behind the project is really, something that's of value. And I think that's something that 10KTF, I think that's what makes me extremely bullish on their project is they have We New Studios. They have, Possible Productions. They have Blood Diamond. They have No Fine, Print. They have Guy Osiri and Sound Ventures. Like when you really look at that, you would not stake your name and your reputation behind a project with all your businesses also attached to it. It just wouldn't happen. So imagine what's being built there. As far as Uniforce, yeah, you're right. I mean,
absolutely.
The other thing about Uniforce though is like they have maintained a floor of like 0.5, and like there was a dark period of time where it's like, what the fuck's going on with this project? Are they gonna move forward? Are they gonna do anything? And the thing about that is that they've maintained that floor, I think, solely on the fact that the artist, I'm Complex, is insane. And the line work and the art is actually extremely well done. And if you've ever done generative art, it is extremely complicated to get that right. Generative art is one of the things that, like doing Roni World, I learned so much. Now I'm working on another generative project. And by doing that and layering it right and not having all the exceptions that crypto spaces had to actually put in the Solidity development of the project
incredible. So by design, I think that's why Oniforce has maintained that. They are also one of the first anime projects to ever launch, which has brand recognition, and it's extremely credible. You have, you know, a lot of these celebrities that aped in and spent, I think Logan Paul spent like $700,000 on his, and he still holds it. So you have all these, you know, celebrities that are still holding the project. There is extreme potential for one of the best comeback stories in NFT history if they do it right. They just have to actually execute and do it. Another project, though, that I did want to mention that's a rug pull by Cole Theorem, another doxed person, is Pudgy Penguins. Believe it or not, they moved and transitioned to a CCO because of, you know, Cole exiting the project and rugging it. So I think that when there's not a real long-term vision and there's not really like you said, transparency on what they're building and how they're going to move the project forward, you can expect that they probably didn't think of it as a long-term play. They looked at it as a short-term thing that they were going to develop. And I think that a lot of projects, they should just come out and say, hey, this is art, right? Or, hey, this is, you know, this, and we're going to execute and develop, you know, this. But I think all these roadmaps that have like Q1, Q2, Q3, and like they're building, we're going to start to see a shift in creating milestones and actually like building out no roadmap rather than, you know, promising all these things. And that's another thing that 10KTF did from the beginning. There is no roadmap. There's no guarantees. It's all excitement and speculation, but they have their reputation on the line. So it's something that's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with what you said. I think the thing with docs is that people didn't care even if they were docs because there was no repercussions. But now, as you can see, there's investigations and there are people penalized and can face up to 20 years in prison. So now I think it's going to change the sentiment of all, you know, how to carefully design these and do, and you know, something that can be mischievous and, you know, rug pulled. But nevertheless,
I was going to just comment real quick.
Go ahead.
With the recent, you know, rug pull, the like 2 20-year-old kids that, you know, got slapped, and I mean, they're expected for a 20-year sentence, right? For a $1.1 million rug pull. That whole situation, I mean, there is so many projects that I can see, you know, having the same allegations and honestly going through the same thing. But one of the really stupid things that they did is they literally came out to they told their mod, like literally second day in after they made all the money, they're like, hey, you know, this is a rug pull. Sorry, buddy. Like, we're not doing anything more with the project.
Yeah,
so, and I think it goes back to, you know, if you make promises, you better execute on the promises that you make. Otherwise, I mean, it is going to go back to them. And as things get more regulated, you can see that. And, you know, obviously with these exchanges, and I think like as, you know, these different platforms pop up, I think they are trying to protect the NFT investor. But right now it's a wild, wild west. It's the altcoin era of NFTs, baby. 98% go to zero. And I can promise that.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I know I asked some tough questions, but I meant it for Ronin myself, so I support it. So,
hey, Roni's like my passion project.
Yeah, I can sense that. So I wish you the best of luck.
It's nothing like it's to take super serious, but you know, I'm always gonna be in there. I'm hanging out. We're delivering. We're doing our thing. It's fun.
Hey, Ahmed, you raised your hand a while back. I want to make sure you have your chance to ask your question. Ahmed, you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This was all super informative, and I'm like absorbing all of it, but I'm wondering where someone would even begin to start.
What'd you say?
Where would someone look to start? Would it be joining the Discord? Is there a website to go to? What would you recommend for someone to start if they're interested in this NFT story with the anime and all that beautiful stuff?
So, I mean, as far as getting into the space, if you have never purchased an NFT, 10KTF is probably one of the most complicated like projects to get into. With just NFTs in general, I highly recommend getting into projects that are actually established and have been around. When you mint a project, and minting is a little bit more complicated, but it's gambling. You have no idea whether they're, actually going to be around for the long term, or if they're just, doing a rug pull or a cash grab, right? I don't believe in a lot of the celebrity launched projects, especially if they're highly endorsed on Instagram or on TikTok. I usually stray away from those heavily. Where you're going to get the most information about projects and really be able to dig your teeth in and research it is get on their Twitter. And then, look through their Twitter, find out what they're building, what they're doing, what they're saying. And then after you go to their Twitter, you need to join their Discord. Once you're in their Discord, you can learn about the project. You can learn about their future roadmap. You can, find their website and then go to their website and start to research through the website. Look at the founders. Yoni said, I'm going to look at the founders first because I want to see who they are. I want to see if they're doxxed. I want to see if they have previous businesses. I want to see everything, which is why the 10KTF community immediately uncovered We Knew Studios, and we dug our teeth in. Like, we knew Beeple was a part of this project literally days into them, coming into the Discord. So you are going to really be able to uncover a lot about the, actual intentions behind a lot of projects really early on. If you just research in those three spaces, you want to look at their Twitter, you want to look at their Discord, and you really want to look at their website and dig through the information that's there. There's a lot of extremely good marketers that can develop a great website. They can develop a great marketing platform. You want to really understand what their future, intentions are with the project. Are they building something long-term, or are they building something short-term? And I think you can really get a good gist of that just by doing those three things.
So one more question. Do you think this will potentially compete with the metaverse for the two biggest? Obviously, there's always room for hundreds, if not millions, of different spaces, but for the two biggest metaverses overall?
Let's just say that Sandbox is probably a part of 10KTF in some way. We already have, wallet tracks of Sandbox buying up 10KTF items, just to throw that out there. So, if Sandbox, obviously 10KTF's on their radar, there's something going on. There's been a lot of stuff when you track wallets on the blockchain, you're able to uncover a lot of truths before they actually transpire in reality. So always watch their wallets. That's what I say.
Animoca Brands, who are actually the founders of Sandbox, if I'm not mistaken, are actually is it a seed investor in Yuga Labs?
They're also the ones that are creating their game.
There you go.
So would it be safe to say that Beeple is heavily involved in this project, or would he be just like one of us, but obviously an investor who holds, who's an OG?
No, Beeple is a founder. He will retweet anything that is 10KTF related. One of his everydays was actually the Gucci Grail or Gucci Mint Pass that he posted literally a day before the launch. Beeple has come out and said, even on the Joe Rogan podcast, that he's worked directly with Possible Productions. This was back in December that he did that podcast before, 10KTF had a lot more light on it. So, that Beeple is heavily involved. Now, a lot of these founders and everything that they're doing, they're not out in public, promoting the project. And I think there's good reason for that. I really believe that these founders, they are truly trying to build something special and organic. And whenever you come out as a founder or a big name like Beeple and you say, oh, hey, this is my new project, or Guy Osiri, and he says that this is my project that I'm working on and it's my passion project. Well, what that attracts is a lot of investors that are in it for the short term. They just want to flip an NFT. They want it to go to 10 ETH or 50 ETH and then get out. They're not really trying to be a diamond hand holder and stick around and help build the project with the team, right? And I think that's the importance of what 10KTF is building. The project is literally named 10,000 True Friends, right? So, or so when you really break it down, I think that they're doing it a slow and organic way for a reason. And Beeple is definitely behind the project in a lot of ways.
Okay, I know I said that was my last question, but I'm gonna just say one more thing because I know everyone else has questions. I have been following people for over the last like 2.5, 3 years, and I was watching that Joe Rogan podcast that you're talking about. And now I feel a lot more comfortable joining this project because I know Beeple's been at this generative art for like over 5,000 days. I don't know how many years that is, but he's actually about building this instead of being on the rug pull end of things. He's actually dedicated to this existence now. So
Beeple drives a Toyota Camry. You know that guy.
That's what I'm saying. He's actually dedicated to his craft. This man was living a normal life at home and then made $69 million with his wife and family. That guy actually cares about his craft. He's not like a materialistic human being. He was dressed just normally, which I appreciate.
100%. Yeah, and I think that with Beeple, he's a very interesting, character by himself. And when you really like link the ties to everybody else, it's really incredible what they're building. It really is.
Thank you for answering all my questions and for giving me some time to speak. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Anthony, aka Drew Thomas.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, so I just have a couple questions. First off, I want to say thank you for the information and the storylines. Pretty insane stuff going on. Pretty cool. I guess my question is, if we want to kind of follow this project more, would you say the best way to do that is by following them on Twitter? And then also, I saw that on their webpage there was like a button to join their Discord. Would those be like the two best ways to kind of follow along with this project?
Yeah, so if you don't have any like money to invest, definitely follow them on Twitter and then join their Discord. Discord obviously allows you to token gate, and that means that it'll unlock channels if you actually hold one of their NFTs. So if you hold a Genesis item within your wallet, you're able to connect through Collabland in the wallet channel, and that's going to unlock a channel called Grailed. Grailed is where all the speculation, all the dirty details, all the OG grinders are literally in there just like sleuthing around and dropping alpha wherever they can. So if you really want to like be a part of that, that's how you do it. And you're able to really uncover a lot. What's really interesting is like you have these moderators, shopkeepers, and different people like Beeple and Figgy that continuously are always in the Discord. They are going to try and FUD the project. Okay. They are going to tell you a bunch of misinformation. They're going to tell you that there's no roadmap and that the founders, they're all alcoholics, and they're going to say all these different things. They're trying to throw your scent off of it and make you sell your NFT for lower so that they can pick it up themselves. The number one holder in the collection is one of my good friends. He's actually has 285 Genesis items from 10KTF, and he is in there. They're always grinding. They're always, posting information. We even have a side chat that we talk about speculation, and then we'll post those ideas in the chat together. So that's going to be your best bet. Another thing that you need to look at is if you just don't have any money and you can't invest in the project, or you don't want to yet because I haven't sold you, that's cool too. In the general section, you can click on threads, and a guy by Diamond Hands, he will post daily updates about what's going on in the project. This project moves fast. You don't have time. You have a 9 to 5, and you can't invest the time commitment into understanding 10KTF. Pop in the Discord, click the daily threads, and literally read his one message that encapsulates all the information that he has gathered throughout the day in one write-up. He has all these different contributors. They're going to lay it on the line and tell you exactly what they're thinking, what speculation there is, and any updates that have been delivered on the project. And then on Thursdays, obviously the project is going to deliver alpha. They're going to drop a tweet, and then they'll also give you news. So like today, we actually did get an update from them. It's Monday, which was very off the cuff. It wasn't, we're like, what's this? It's a pre-mint access link to, pre-mint's actual NFT collection that they're launching. They have 600 whitelist spots for our community, and we're able to, get access to that. And I would suspect that, with all these connections that they have, I mean, I've already gotten so much from Steve Aoki's collection, Aokiverse, and he has, his connections and small connections to friends. And I've gotten a lot of that. I can only imagine what 10KTF and their connections that they have, what kind of, mint collaborations, free drops, all kinds of stuff that we're going to see with this collection. So, yeah, join the Discord. I would say that that's where you're going to get the most updates and information.
And one other question. So I know I heard you say that, obviously if you kind of wanted to get in and you didn't have much money, the 10K TF, the Genesis items and whatnot, what if you do have some money to throw around, what would you recommend kind of putting that into? Obviously not being financial advice, but just what are your recommendations there?
I mean, if I had, a money tree, I'd be buying up, like, let's say, I want to have like a small investment, make sure that I'm diversified enough in the project and still have, funds to play with afterwards. I might buy 3 Genesis items from the 10KTF collection. I'd buy some tools for staking so I can, have some of that passive NTD coming in. And then the third thing I would do is I'd buy up one of those Gucci Graileds. We don't know what future utility they hold. We don't know what's going to come from that, but anything with Gucci attached to it, I guarantee you it gives you access to their future projects, and they're not stopping with Super Plastic and 10KTF. They're going to continue to build out. And so, I mean, having access to those drops, that in itself will probably pay for your initial investment.
Sweet. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
So you're saying a tool, like one of those like backpacks or sneakers, and then obviously a collection like a Gucci Grail. Because that's what I was thinking. So like for me, like I have like, let's say a budget of like 2.3 ETH. So I think what I can afford is a Gucci Grail ape, hopefully, and then a backpack, and then maybe some tool that they have here. And you said which one is the
going?
Yeah.
Your thimble is going to be your cheapest tool, and those are currently priced at like 1.5 ETH. And that's going to generate passive, obviously passive NTD.
Gotcha.
But honestly, my investing strategy as of lately is I don't really go for rares. I try to mint rares. But if I mint a rare, I'm selling that. I'm buying up the floor. The floor is going to have just as much utility as the rares in a lot of projects. I don't see this one being very different. They may try to reward holders that have rare items like they did with the NTD allocation, but it's hard to really say. And that's all just speculation,
So you advise, I'm not advice, but get a tool first. The first thing to get is a tool. And because like I'm looking at the 10K TF stock room, and I'm looking at the thimble, right? But it says created by Melon Pan. Is that still part of 10K TF?
Created by Melon Hand.
Melon_pan.
Yeah, that's probably a scam. You're in the stock room?
10K TF stock room, yeah.
Let me look. Unless you want to share your screen.
I would have to give me a second. I can switch it and I'll share it.
This is going to be the last question, just because we're coming up on 2 hours now. And
yeah, I'm holding it. Actually, do you mind checking? Because it's going to be a while. I don't want to take up too much of your time while logging into it.
I'm looking right now.
Sure.
I'm on OpenSea already. 10KTF stock room.
Yeah, so if you scroll down, you see the cute little thimble, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the cute little thimble right now. The floor price is 1.25.
Yeah, it says created by Melon Pan. I just want to make sure this is like an official thing, not buying like some scam thing.
Oh yeah, it is created by Melon Pan. Who's Melon Pan?
Yeah, exactly. That's what's kind of was throwing me off at first. So I was just wanted to make sure.
Rabbit hole grows deeper.
Dude, who is this guy?
What
the heck?
You know
That's
better
the
than I
right
do.
one, dude. No way.
Wait,
So,
paste paste his public key into a blockchain forensic
so,
tool.
Is
this
this
guy
a new
actually
clue?
Dude, this guy owns so much KTF. Holy cow.
So this guy a whale?
Is it Andy Murray?
Is it Andy
Yeah.
Murray?
Is this like more unrolling here?
That
Is it a
might
10?
be Andy Murray himself, based on here. I'll share my screen.
He has
for the
36.
video.
He has 36 10 KTF items.
So we're looking at Melon Pan right now, who is the creator of the cute little thimble inside of the 10 KTF stock room.
I didn't know that you could have other people post it into this, 10 KTF stock room.
Yeah.
Scissors too. Scissors is too.
What is that? Dude, what is going on?
Melon Pan.
We're
If you're
splitting.
watching this, Melon Pan, we're on to you.
We'll go to. Who's Andy Murray? He's like the
Tennis
art.
player.
He's a tennis player.
Which would make sense because We New Moment is doing stuff for.
It says he
tennis.
created the other side Bored Ape Land. What? Who
I've got
just
a
said that?
raging. I've got a raging clue right now.
Give me the connection. Hold on. Who just said that? Here we go. We're chasing the rabbit hole now.
Dylan, do you want to take the screen back over?
No, I'm reading your chat. It says he created the other side Bored Ape Land. Where does it say that? Show me the money. Christopher, don't be greedy.
Chris,
Share. Be nice. Hold up.
Hold up. Okay. It's loading.
oh, he's joining from his phone, I think, right now. Chris is joining.
Dude, I guarantee you Diamond Hands has already went down this rabbit hole though.
All right,
All right.
Chris is here.
All right,
Okay,
let's see it.
all I did was went to. Hold on, let me leave this. Sorry. All right, I was connected to two different things. I just went to like what he was holding in his OpenSea profile, and then
Okay.
like he was holding Bored Ape Yacht Club Other Side Land, and if you go to that Other Side Land, it also says that he made that as well, and it's like the official one that's got a floor of 17 ETH. Oh, never mind. Sorry, this says volume traded 0.
Am I really quiet?
Wait, is this? Wait,
piece of metal?
that land hasn't dropped yet.
Yeah, that hasn't been dropped.
So, okay, so maybe that's why no volume traded. But if you go to this, watch. If I click one,
Wait, what is this? What is this McDonald's official delisted?
oh, see that now this one says created. Watch. Hold on. Let me go back to his. If you just here,
What
do
is
this.
this
Go into his.
Apple official
See, it says owned by Melon Pan. See, now it's. Hold on.
Yo, Rolex official?
Hey,
You guys
Ryan,
see this?
in what he's got going on here. All right.
Yo, what
You're
is
welcome.
in this guy's like? He's got
Hold on.
so much
I'm
stuff.
trying to figure out what I was looking at. Dude, you guys should see what the profile sent Ryan earlier. $26 million worth of NFTs in this profile.
Dude, is that real land from the other side? No way.
I don't know. This whoever this dude is, he owns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gang of mutant apes. I think way more than that. Yeah, he owns a lot of stuff.
G Money. What? G Money is like a whale, dude.
Forensic.
Whales.
This is blockchain forensics at its finest, boys.
I mean, yeah, I definitely ain't no chump or like some random profile that's trying to.
Ryan, BRB, I'm going to investigate.
All right.
Hang on. This came from a null address.
I gotta go home and research now. We're this is what this project does to me, all right?
Hey, so can you stake
Crypto
your
Dilly
tools
hasn't
right
slept
now?
in weeks.
Can you stake your tools right now if you buy one?
Yeah, you just go to the 10KTF website, go to the store front, and then it gives you the option to stake.
Look at this BAYC.
You can
other
stake
side
just with the Holy Grail collection, or you have to have the tools.
Tools,
Do the tools
are the only
count?
things that are stakeable, and that's why they're so valued right now.
Do
And
they-
we don't know what NTD is going to be valued. So like me, I have a bag of 20,000, and that's a shit ton. And so like, you know, if it's
Oh,
anything,
you
like,
don't know what the value is going to be, is what you're saying.
we don't know what it's going to be valued at. Yeah.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
the other thing that's really interesting is go back to 10KTF's recent tweet about the toads.
Uh-huh.
Here's the recent speculation to let you guys in on the ground floor here. 10KTF X Boss Toads. And then on the banner, it says sale coming soon. Notice how Toads is patched out and sale is patched out, but somebody actually put the S and changed it to make it a money sign. So imagine that it's ape coming soon. Ape is the coin that BAYC uses, right? So that's
Yeah,
all
okay.
speculation. But I mean, imagine that that's what that means, because that L for sale looks extremely like a P, right? But that's,
Yeah.
again, that's speculation. And then before we started, I have this picture. I'll share it with you guys. This is gonna be mind blowing.
Sending it to me.
No, I'm just gonna send it in the chat here. Oh, maybe I can't send pictures in the chat. Damn
Yeah,
it.
just send it to me on Twitter.
On Twitter? Okay.
Yeah.
What's your Twitter name? Crypto Rye?
Yeah.
Yes.
Crypto Rye _
In your opinion, do you think the mutant apes are it says that there's less mutant apes than there are regular bored apes? Do you feel like the
You talking about for
mutant
the
apes are
Gucci
actually
one?
more rare?
I don't really know. There's a lot of people that have speculated the valuation on like what, you know, Gucci Grailed collection is going to be the most expensive. When you really break it down, you look at the original 10KTF collection and you look at, you know, the valuation between apes, pudgy penguins, and like what they are. Bored apes may sell at a slight premium, and sometimes mutant apes will too, but they really don't, you know, the value doesn't really shift very much. I think a lot of uneducated investors project are going to really value a bored ape higher than, you know, a Oni, and vice versa. I don't really think that it's really going to matter as much. That's why I was saying just buy a floor one. Obviously, you want to make sure like something that you like, though, right?
No, the cheapest mutant is number 29788, and it's so dope, and it's 1.15 ETH. And
that's cheap.
It's super cheap. Yeah, I'm like trying to take this all in. I've FOMO'd into so many projects, and again, I everything I've heard is
which one is
it?
Yoni?
It's 29788.
Play nice, Yoni.
But no, I'm kidding. No, bro.
Yeah.
I'll give you the.
Well, I don't want to. The other thing, I don't want to say like I gotta here. I guess I could ask. I was gonna ask both Yoni and
no, bro.
Ryan's opinion. I still have like
fun.
half a Bitcoin, and I'm like tempted to sell. Instead of, I was just gonna pull money out of my bank account, but I'm like tempted to sell.
Chris, we are not allowed to give financial advice. You have us feeling like we're playing. We feel like we're playing Minesweeper on a daily basis as it is.
Here's the thing. Even if I were to give you, I'm not. My NFTs aren't my expertise. All right.
Yeah,
I value you know, stuff that's illiquid. I like playing with numbers.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
but
back
the
to
gambling in NFTs is exciting.
Back to the topic at hand. I have the picture pulled up that Crypto Dilly asked me very nicely to pull up.
Yeah, let's see that bad boy.
Can you not see
Flat
it?
world.
Can you see it?
No, I can't see it.
Oh,
Oscar party?
how about now?
Yep.
No, I just see a.
Whose party was it though?
Will Smith smacking someone.
Well, I guess it's not letting me pull it up, but
No, I see it. You can see it.
We can see it.
Dio series. Oscar party. What? Dude, the guy's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Like, have you heard of this guy? except for the past 6 months. I've never heard this guy's name in my life. And then all of a sudden he's fucking everywhere and he's throwing a party for the Oscars and these guys are at it, which was like one of the most controversial things that's happened in like television history happened last night. And Gaio series names there all of a sudden. Like what's going on?
Shadowy figures are being exposed.
Dude, this is a naughty.
Listen, we're not going down that rabbit hole.
What
All
is-
right, all right, all right. Anyways, we had an amazing time tonight.
Ryan, I'm trying to hang out here all night. Come on, boy.
All right. Any other questions though?
Just with these Gucci Grails, like what does like the staking entail?
So Gucci Grail is not, you can't stake that.
Just
Gucci
the
Grail,
tools.
Gucci Grailed was just a NFT project collaboration with Gucci, where you're able to take your mint pass, pair it with a PFP that's a part of the 10KTF collection, like the parent projects, and
Yeah.
then create, you know, a dress your ape or dress your Oni. So like, you know, for my Oni, there's 5,000 of them that are out there for the supply for, you know, Gucci Grailed. My Oni is 2 of those. Some of the Bored Apes, the reason that you have a higher supply of Bored Apes in that collection is because of what their perceived value would be. They're like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, pour out my ape. I'm gonna make 6 of these Gucci Grailed with different outfits, and I'm gonna sell them. So the
Gotcha.
Bored Apes, you know, exploited the system, and they may not actually even understand what's behind 10KTF as a whole. They were just like, Gucci's name's on this. I'm gonna, you know, mint 6 of these and then sell them for a premium, so that way people buy them, right?
Gotcha.
So that's the thing is like we don't know what's gonna happen with Gucci Grailed at all. We don't really know.
And you essentially think that just the utility behind these is what's going to be most important, like moving forward?
For 10KTF, the actual 10KTF collection, 100%. I think that holders of that collection are going to be, you know, very happy in the long term. But as far as the Gucci one, I mean, just pure speculation. I could see that maybe we get access to, you know, fashion shows. Maybe we get physical goods from Gucci. Maybe, you know, we are able to have access to their future drops with other collaborations. Maybe we have, you know, who knows? We don't really know. Maybe some of the speculation was that this is from the, you know, recent collection, Aria and Love Parade. Maybe every, you know, season that they launch a new collection, maybe you're able to dress your PFP and the new collection Gucci drop, right? As they drop them in real time. So when it comes out physically on the runway, maybe you're able to mint it for free, or maybe you pay a small premium and then they sell a supply to the public. We don't know.
Pay your gas fees, yeah. Cool. I appreciate you answering that. I'm going to mute myself now.
Does a
Welcome to
tool
Rabbit
count
Hole.
as a Genesis item?
Sorry, what was that?
Good
Does
question.
a tool count as a Genesis item?
It does not.
Okay.
Genesis are the items that they're only going to be day packs and high tops. And like I said, right there on the picture, you can tell whether it's crafted or if it's an OG. It'll just say day pack and then it doesn't say crafted afterwards. If it says crafted next to anything, those are legacy items that were crafted by, you know, combining tools and materials.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Did we get to the bottom of this melon pan? Is this dude legit? And is it safe to buy that?
Dude, I want to buy,
Oh.
I want to research melon pan hard. I'm going to do that when I get home.
I think it's safe to buy the tools. I just don't know.
Oh yeah, tools is good. Yeah, you can buy that.
Okay.
It's part of the
I'm gonna
actual
buy a
collection.
thimble for freaking for over $4,000.
I know, it's crazy, man.
I'm part of Thimble Gang. I got a thimble.
Yeah.
All right, we are gonna wrap everything up.
I bet he didn't get
This very well may go down as some of your very most expensive nights in history, and hopefully down the road will become your most highly profitable nights in history.
Hey, if you don't want the fun to end, head to the Discord, start speculating in there. You'll have a lot of friends that will ride the wave with you. I promise.
Absolutely.
good conversation.
So this was absolutely incredible. Crypto Dilly, thank you so much for spending far more time with us than you were even, planning on spending with us. So this is going to be the one video that we are going to be posting on YouTube. Typically, the videos that are made for our big crypto community that are hosted by guest speakers are never put out into the public, but we promised that this video in specific would be released onto the internet for the 10K TF community, because there are not many videos out there that are diving into all of the history of what's going on. This is a recap of everything that's happened pre-war. War, quote unquote, whatever that means, is supposed to take place in a few days. So I guess in like 3-4 days. Friday, I guess. Sometime in April, they're saying. So this is a good recap of everything pre-war, unless if something extravagant happens in the next week or so. So a few things for the individuals that are watching this. One, thank you so much for watching this all the way to the end. This is a very long video, about 2 hours and 15 minutes now, and you stuck with us the entire way through, which is incredible. And I got a few things for you. One, if you are interested in working with the Roni World NFT project, you can search them up. It is Roni, R0N1 World. You can find them on OpenSea. I'll also put a link in the bio down below for their website. You can also join the 10KTF Discord. And then lastly, the big crypto community does have a consulting accelerator program where we take individuals through and we teach them everything they need to know about blockchain and cryptocurrency. We teach them how to make money passively through the DeFi route. So the decentralized finance world, that includes staking, yield farming, all that good stuff. And then we also dive into NFTs, how to do research on NFTs and NFT strategy. None of it, of course, is ever financial advice. It is all purely for entertainment purposes only, such as this entire video. And then we also have guest speakers that come on. We have our own Discord community. I'll put a link in the description below to apply to become a member of the Big Crypto Discord community. It is a private Discord community that is for members only, obviously. So we do have everybody go through an application process in order to join the community, because this community is an incredible, incredible culture that we've built, and we will do nothing to risk that. So if you guys would like to join the Big Crypto Accelerator program, I'll put a link down below for you guys to learn more information about that, and also the application to join the Big Crypto Discord. So we're signing off right now. Crypto Dilly, do you have any last minute things that you want to mention before we close this and put it to an end? We lost him.
No, I'm good. I think you guys had a lot of great questions. It's been a really fun night. If you guys have any other questions, my Twitter handle is CryptoDilly. You're more than welcome to drop in my DMs and send me any questions there. You also can, hit me up on Discord as well. So let me know if you guys have any additional questions, and thanks for sticking it through. I mean, pretty impressive that, we were able to stick you guys through this lecture for 2.5 hours. So thanks for joining.
You absolutely killed it. You've made an incredible presentation for us, and we're extremely grateful for it. Crypto Dilly is in our Discord, the Big Crypto Discord, by the way. So if you're going into the big community, you can tag him in there and you can have a conversation with him there as well. Again, Crypto Dilly, thank you so much for your time. You were very generous with the time that you gave us. And for everybody on this call, thank you for your time as well. As always, you could have spent your time anywhere else, and you chose to spend it here with us, and you showed up powerfully and asked some incredible questions. So I want to thank you so much. And we'll be signing off there. Oh, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, if you're watching this on YouTube still, my handle is RyanHorst_. That's RyanHorst_. Thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you all have an incredible rest of your night.